Hi there, Leo. Welcome to your mid-June 2023 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. Hopefully there won't be any more lawnmowers. There's been a little bit of an issue with that tonight. Ooh, lots of swords. What is with the swords? Your opposite sign, Aquarius, maybe? Okay. By the way, the last card I got was the Universe. That is the World card, which, this particular deck uses different names for some of the cards, and that's but it's the World card. It's the last card of the Major Arcana, so just in case you were a little bit confused. The heart of the matter is the Moon card. The Moon card is all about things that are perhaps not quite revealed. At the time of a full moon, it can bring out secrets, and you can have epiphanies, downloads. It's funny, it looks like in this deck, the moon is crying because, it can be an emotional time. It can be like a time of purging something that has been suppressed. And we just had a full moon, actually, how many days ago? Today's the 7th, 4 days ago in Sagittarius. So for Leo, Sag is your 5th house. And that is the house that you rule in astrology. That's the house of love and creativity. So, if you have a full moon in the 5th house, it's possible that some of you may have come to a sad realization. It could have been sad that it's actually not, this is not the house of relationships. That would be the 7th house, but it does deal with matters of the heart. So even whether you have just met someone and your emotions are into them, or whether you've been with the person for 10 years, it doesn't matter. It has to do with the theme of love. And it can make a person realize what is true about that emotional bond that they have with someone. Maybe they realize it's kind of one-sided, and that's sad to them. Maybe it's a situation where you realize that you can let go now of someone that you have been really hooked into. Because another thing about the moon card is it can be deception, self-deception even. And so, and I'm talking about in this particular case with the tarot, in terms of astrological influence, the full moon, in particular, can be a time where there is that enlightenment. It can actually bring out the truth. But in the tarot, the moon card is actually connected to Pisces. In astrology, the moon rules Cancer. So you have like both of those things going on. And I would just say anything, to be open to interpretation for your particular situation. It's also a card of creativity. So maybe you have hatched a new idea. You have a project that you think that you might be interested in doing. Yeah, something may have happened at this past full moon that was significant. In the past position, we have the 5 of Cups. This is actually a card of mourning the loss of something. So I don't know if I would necessarily connect these two cards like they are currently in your life. It might be that you ended a relationship and now is the first time that you have been able to put it behind you. So that would actually be a good thing, right? Um, yeah, so the Five of Cups can be, really the whole idea of the grieving process is that we acknowledge that there's a loss in the first place. Some people try to stay very busy or they minimize the loss and they don't really deal with it, and then it comes back to them because eventually that trapped grief has to go somewhere. So it's possible that some of you in the past, I would say even 3 years, you had Saturn in your seventh house of committed partnerships, so that can sometimes really challenge a shaky relationship. So perhaps some of you became uncoupled, got divorced, and yet you still have feelings for that person. Well, maybe now you're finally being able to release those. The higher message, the Six of Swords. This is a card of sometimes relocation, sometimes moving to, it looks like they're moving to higher ground. It can mean that where they are is threatening them in some way. They're going to safety, they're going to some place that feels peaceful, choosing peace in your life. Now, this is a spiritual position, the bigger picture concept. And what I would say about this is that when you feel as if something has been taken from you, or that you have lost something in your life, the ultimate gain is that you have peace. That's more important than holding on to something that has brought grief. So it may not feel that way in the short term. It can feel very hard to navigate that, but eventually you can find yourself in a place where you are able to appreciate that. And another thing about the Six of Swords is it can actually be a card of relocation. So, Leo, if you find that you're in a situation where you are constantly being reminded of an old flame and it's hard to get over that you consider changing where you live, because having that constant reminder can just reopen the wound. And I actually wouldn't tell people, to consider doing that if they had just gotten over a relationship, because people do have a tendency to kind of try to have a geographical cure where they just go somewhere else physically, but they still have those emotions, follow them wherever they go. And so I'm talking about if it's been a while and you feel like you're still trapped in the past, then that might be a way to kind of move forward and kind of signal that you're ready to leave the past behind you. What crosses you is the Eight of Swords. So there can still be some things within yourself, old tapes, old programming that are creating a sense, which is a false sense, an illusion that you are incapable of moving forward in your life. This is because, sometimes people want to, get over something, and yet they don't realize that they are still programmed with very negative messages that aren't really originating from themselves. They're projections from other people, parents and other caregivers and authority figures that they have absorbed, that they've taken in as being their own ideas. And even if you can think of things that you do believe that you feel you have always, that you have created for yourself, even if that's the case, it still is an illusion because it's coming from a lack of awareness of the totality of who you are. Our perception of self can be severely limited. And again, a lot of times this is because of how other people we see around us that are influential, how they regard themselves and how they regard us. And they don't, if somebody doesn't know who they are, it's very difficult for them to convey this idea of who you might be. So remember that you have to engage in that journey of self-discovery. You can't rely on other people to reflect back on you who you are. And it's funny because I shouldn't be lecturing Leos about this. You're pretty confident people. But the world can really give us, kind of like that matrix version of, what a person's supposed to be. It can be very oppressive. And we're trying to, free ourselves from the matrix so that we're not living in that limited 3D reality. What's coming in is the Three of Swords. This is a card of feeling a sense of rejection, but also I believe that for some of you this can be like a clean break, meaning that if there is some kind of a lingering issue in your life, Leo, that you are going to, and I'm talking about, like, for instance, maybe it's an on again, off again relationship where you have been disappointed by this person, perhaps numerous times, and you're just tired of the drama, that you're able to move forward. And that only comes by breaking the ties with that person. You may realize that you can't go back. Maybe the Eight of Swords is like you felt that kind of, those energetic cords with that individual, and it makes you feel oppressed, like you can't break away. The outcome card is the universe. Like I said, this is the world card, and it really speaks to endings. It's the last card of the major arcana. It's about the end of an era. And when we perceive these things, when we can sense them within ourselves that we are about to enter a new cycle, everything that isn't working, that doesn't seem resonant, it's so much easier to drop from our lives because we know that we're moving into a better place. But it does get messy sometimes because, we don't have this prefabricated manual about what's going to happen. We have to trust that everything is going to fall into place. So being able to cut something cleanly and break away from it and kind of welcome the end and honor the end of a chapter of your life, Leo, is going to be so great because now you're coming into your cocooning phase. The month when the sun goes into Cancer on the solstice for in June, that'll be the month before you have your solar return. So you're going to likely be more quiet, contemplative, and poised for your new cycle. All right, that's what I have for you, Leo. I hope that this resonated. If you'd like a private reading, I'm promoting my double astrological readings called Deep Dive Readings. At least an hour of natal chart analysis, an hour of transits for the next 12 months for a special price. And I have a similar one, but it's with the tarot instead, called the Whole Enchilada. And I also have um, I have standalone readings, love readings, life path, career readings, etc., etc. You can find out more information at the link below. I'm at ReinaMoonAstrology.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.